y'all get quiet. When you tryna come for me, I keep on flourishing. Yeah. And he said even the best one in the company is you love it how I move you. You love it how I touch you. My one, when all is said.
Welcome to Jazzy's Music Diary, where I talk all things pop culture and commentary in music, any artist, artistry, and analysis on them. In this review, I will be talking about Lady Gaga and her music. Now, this is only opinion-based, and everything that I do mention is just for entertainment purposes only. And I hope you enjoy my take on it, and your day continues to go sublime as your face. Now, without further ado, let's get into the video. Lady Gaga is such an iconic legend in pop culture. She is a world-renowned pop singer with an artsy, unorthodox, dramatic, theatrical appeal to her that you enjoy, and it makes you keep watching for more. She is the art and pop culture queen and has dominated the art pop genre like crazy and has cemented her presence as a pop legend with iconic music videos and lyrics and inviting colorful imagery into her aesthetic. Her staple point is her image reinventions and versatility across the entertainment industry, and all of her fashion choices were attention-grabbing and intriguing, and she is known for being an influential figure in popular music. With estimated sales of 124 million records, she is one of the best-selling musical artists of all time. I love how most of her music videos are so compelling and draws you in, and she makes them so fun where you want to dance with her, and her lyrics are also memorable too. Where as soon as you sing them, you know it's Lady Gaga. That's how much she has stood out in pop culture. She is so talented and has such a beautiful way of how she expresses her artistry and creativity as an artist, and really brings you into her world and continues to pull you in with an amazing effect of her brilliant talent, and it hits you with the element of surprise each time in the best way.
Talented, brilliant, incredible, amazing, show-stopping, spectacular, never the same, totally unique, completely not ever been done before, unafraid to reference or not reference, put it in a blender, vomit on it, eat it, give birth to it.
The Fame and the Fame Monster era was Lady Gaga's introduction, and I'll be talking about both albums considering the Fame Monster is a reissue of her original album, The Fame. Upon signing with Interscope Records in 2009, Gaga gained recognition with her debut album, The Fame, in 2008, and is reissued The Fame Monster in 2009. This was her best era in my opinion, and she really captured the TV screens with her aesthetic and how lively and on-brand it is. And you won't expect nothing less than Lady Gaga at her best. The Fame was released on August 19, 2008, and it's an electropop, synth-pop, and dance pop record that displays influences from 1980s music. Lyrically, it visualizes Gaga's love of fame in general, while also dealing with subjects such as love, sex, money, drugs, and identity, and was reissued as a deluxe edition with The Fame Monster on November 18, 2009. The first two singles off the album, Just Dance and Poker Face, gained international success, topping the charts in several countries worldwide, including the United States, the United Kingdom, and Australia. The subsequent singles, Love Game and Paparazzi, were commercial successes as well, charting within the top 10 of over 10 countries worldwide. The Fame became the fifth best-selling album of 2009 and has sold over 4.9 million copies in the United States as of January 2019. Combined with The Fame Monster, the album has sold over 18 million copies worldwide as of August 2019, making it one of the best-selling albums of the 21st century. The Fame has won multiple awards since its release, and the album was nominated for a total of 5 Grammy Awards at the 52nd Annual Grammy Awards, including Album of the Year. In 2013 and 2022, Rolling Stone named The Fame as one of the 100 greatest debut albums of all time, and as of 2023, it is the 12th biggest album of all time on the US Billboard 200. Both her albums were such an amazing attention grabber and really kept you glued to what transpires materially from Gaga's mind and allows you a peek into what she allows you to know. And if I'm not mistaken, she didn't have any collaborations on this album, so that's really good for a debut. And it shows she really can hold her own, and you literally go back and listen to it over and over again. It's like an album that never retires. The Fame Monster is a reissue of The Fame, released on November 18, 2009, initially planned solely as part of the deluxe edition of The Fame. The deluxe edition of the album contains The Fame in its entirety, where it brings both albums together cohesively. It's pretty much the same album with more to enjoy. The album deals with the darker side of fame, as experienced by Gaga over the course of 2008 and 2009, while traveling around the world, and is expressed through a monster metaphor. It's an electro-pop record with influences of disco, glam rock, and synth-pop music of the 1970s and 1980s, as well as industrial and gothic music. The album was also inspired by fashion shows and runways. Her music should definitely be in the new Devil Wears Prada movie coming out next year, and it's like her music is the face of fashion itself. Bad Romance, the album's lead single, was a commercial success, topping the charts in more than 20 countries and reaching number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100 in the US. The next two singles, Telephone and Alejandro, reached the top 10 in multiple countries worldwide, including the US. The rest of the album's tracks would also chart, despite not being released as singles. The EP reached number 5 on the Billboard 200 and topped the dance and electronic albums chart. It has since been certified 5 times platinum by the Recording Industry Association of America, the RIAA. The album has won multiple awards since its release, and it was nominated in a total of 6 categories at the 53rd Annual Grammy Awards, including Gaga's second consecutive Album of the Year nomination. It won 3, including Best Pop Vocal Album. The songs that stood out to me musically were Just Dance, Paparazzi, Poker Face, Bad Romance, and Telephone featuring Beyonce. I would give her album a 8.5 out of 10. Now her Born This Way era was her experimental versatile pursuit. This is the second studio album of Lady Gaga, and it was released on May 23, 2011. It incorporates synth pop and dance pop elements on the record, pretty much the same music style from her previous album, The Fame Monster, with different forms of instrumentation from that on her previous releases, such as electronic rock and techno, and features a broader range of genres such as heavy metal, disco, house, and rock and roll, while its lyrical topics include sexuality, religion, freedom, feminism, and individualism. Born This Way received 3 Grammy Award nominations and an album nomination for Album of the Year. And Born This Way debuted atop various major music charts worldwide, including the US Billboard 200, where the record sold 1.108 million copies in its first week. It has been certified quadruple platinum by the Recording Industry Association of America, the RIAA. For the album singles, the title track Judas and The Edge of Glory and You and I charted in the top 10 of the Billboard Hot 100 in the US, where Born This Way stayed atop for 6 weeks. Gaga performed songs from the album on different occasions, such as the 53rd Annual Grammy Awards and the 2011 MTV Video Music Awards. So the only song that I liked on the album was just The Edge of Glory. So I give this album a 7 out of 10. The Artpop era was visually transcending. This is her 3rd studio album and was released on November 6, 2013. Gaga described Artpop as a celebration and a poetic musical journey. It displays an intentional lack of maturity and responsibility by comparison to the darker and anthemic nature of Born This Way. Musically, Artpop is an EDM and synth-pop album with influences from R&B, techno, industrial, and dubstep, among other genres. The themes of the album revolve around Gaga's personal views of fame, sex, and self-empowerment. It also features guest vocals from T.I., Too Short, Twista, and R. Kelly. Anytime Lady Gaga brings her art into her songs, her work speaks for itself, and her creativity and imagination comes to life and it shines. It debuted atop on the US Billboard 200 with first week sales of 258,000 copies, becoming Gaga's second consecutive number 1 record in the country. According to the International Federation of the Phonographic Industry, Artpop was the 9th global best-selling album of 2013 with 2.3 million copies worldwide. Applause was released as the lead single from Artpop on August 12, 2013, and was a critical and commercial success, charting within the top 10 in more than 20 countries worldwide, peaking at number 4 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart in the United States. The second single, Do What You Want, was made available on October 21st, reaching number 13 in the US. So the song I loved on this album is Just Applause. So I would give this album a 6 out of 10. Her Cheek to Cheek era was a transition from her art pop to working on jazz. This is a collaborative album by Tony Bennett and Lady Gaga, released on September 19, 2014 by Columbia and Interscope Records. It was a jazz record that Tony Bennett and Lady Gaga were inspired to do, introducing jazz to a younger generation, believing the songs to have an appeal to the youth. It definitely does, as this album is a nice introductory to jazz for any young men or women that are willing to listen to a genre that can pull the ear towards a spontaneous traditional direction, and this would do so well at fine dining restaurants and jazz clubs. Bennett and Gaga recorded the tracks in New York City, accompanied by a live band and jazz musicians associated with both artists. Gaga deviated from her previous contemporary pop albums as she wanted to create a jazz record. The album was preceded by the release of 2 singles, Anything Goes and I Can't Give You Anything But Love, which both reached number 1 on Billboard's Jazz Digital Songs chart in the United States. At the 57th Annual Grammy Awards, The album won Best Traditional Pop Vocal Album. Cheek to Cheek debuted at number 1 on the US Billboard 200 with 131,000 copies sold in its first week, according to Nielsen SoundScan, and has since sold 773,000 copies in the United States. The album became Bennett's second number 1 album and Gaga's third consecutive number 1 in the US. Gaga became the first female artist in the country to have 3 number 1 albums in the 2010s decade, while Bennett extended his record as the oldest artist to achieve a number 1 album on the chart. This shows that Lady Gaga can do any genre of music in whatever direction she pursues. The album was sublime and was an enjoyable listen, so I rate this a well done. The Joanne era is where she delves more into her personal life. This will be her 4th solo studio album, which was released on October 21st, 2016. Joanne musically would be considered a dance pop, soft rock, and Americana record with country elements with a focus on Gaga's vocals. The album delves into the theme of family and life's emotions, and the death of her aunt, Joanne Stephanie Germanotta, deeply influenced the record. Lyrically, this is one of her most vulnerable and stripped down, emotional albums where it opened a more softening of Gaga's image, who took on a more singer-songwriter-oriented look in promotional materials, wearing a pink, white-brimmed cowgirl hat, vintage denim and pastel colors, evoking the 1970s. 3 singles were released: Perfect Illusion, Million Reasons, and the title track. Perfect Illusion was released as the album's lead single on September 9, 2016, and reached number 1 in France, while Million Reasons reached number 4 in the United States. Joanne was nominated for Best Pop Vocal Album at the 60th Annual Grammy Awards. Million Reasons and Joanne were nominated for Best Pop Solo Performance in separate years, for which the latter won an award. The song that stood out to me on this album is Perfect Illusion, so I give this album a 7.5 out of 10. The Chromatica era is where it gets visually stimulating. This will be Lady Gaga's 5th solo studio album and was released on May 29, 2020. Musically, Chromatica is a dance pop record inspired by early 1990s house music, returning Gaga to her dance music roots and eschewing the stripped-down style of his predecessors' albums Joanne and A Star Is Born. Joanne came out in 2016 and A Star Is Born came out in 2018. On this album, Gaga adopted a cyberpunk-inspired persona aesthetic, and visually, it's like Mortal Kombat meets Rock Queen. Chromatica is a concept album centering on ideas of unwavering happiness and a pursuit of healing. Songs on the record encompass themes inspired by failed romance and mental health struggles in Gaga's private life. Blackpink, Ariana Grande, and Elton John contribute guest vocals. 4 singles supported the album, including the US Billboard Hot 100 Top 5 entry, Stupid Love and Rain on Me with Grande, which marked Gaga's 5th number 1 song on the chart. At the 63rd Annual Grammy Awards, Chromatica was nominated for Best Pop Vocal Album, and Rain on Me earned Gaga's 2nd Best Pop Duo and Group Performance win. The album topped the charts in various countries, including the US, where it marked Gaga's 6th consecutive number 1 on the Billboard 200. The songs I liked on this album were Rain on Me featuring Ariana Grande and Sign From Above featuring Elton John. I rate this album a 6.5 out of 10. Now her Love for Sale era is where she gets back to her time doing jazz again with Tony Bennett. This will be her 2nd and final collaborative album with Tony Bennett and was released on September 30th, 2021 by Columbia and Interscope Records. It is the 61st and final studio album of Bennett's career and Gaga's 7th, following Cheek to Cheek in 2014. The duo's first collaborative album, Love for Sale, was recorded between 2018 and early 2020, consisting of their renditions of various jazz standards by American composer Cole Porter, to whom the record is a tribute to. It was very touching and cozy, and they had a seemingly good professional relationship, and you could tell that they really took their time out to make this album fluently come together. So I rate this album a phenomenal job well done. Her Mayhem era was gold. I've always loved Lady Gaga's theatrical and dramatic visuals and engaging invoking art as she brings you into her world, and she's always been a showstopper and attention grabber with her music, and to hear her emerge into her old roots again and making it her latest sound is such great marketing and remastering of a brand that she already has. This album sonically proves she's always had her flair no matter the era she is in, as she always stays true to her artistry, being the pop culture queen she is. Mayhem was released March 7, 2025, with the singles off the album, Disease and Abracadabra, preceding it. Abracadabra reached number 13 on the Billboard Hot 100, and Mayhem topped the Billboard Hot 200, and achieved the largest first week sales and was certified platinum by the RIAA. Her vocal performance was amazing and so stellar that you feel her words reaching your heart. Lady Gaga screams authentic, and she couldn't have it any other way because she's a powerhouse that stays electrifying where it will surprise you and leaves you invested for more. Her album was bold and artistically creative, and I honestly think she should stay with her original sound as it suits her way more, and I feel that she is more cozy with making music that makes her feel more alive, doing what she loves instead of label pleasing. Allow people to have their opinions about you. It isn't your narrative. Make art that correlates to not what sells, but it's a driving force of why you get up and make music in the first place. And that's exactly what this album was all about. The songs that stood out to me were Disease, Abracadabra, The Dead Dance, Garden of Eden, Killer, and Die With a Smile featuring Bruno Mars. So I'll rate this album a solid 8 out of 10. So what's new with Miss Gaga? The latest I've seen her with is her playing a deceased Nevermore professor named Rosalind Rotwood in season 2 of Netflix show Wednesday, and starred Harley Quinn and Joker Folie à Deux in 2024. Sorry if I slopped that up. We'll continue to see as she mesmerizes and shows us new musical capabilities and acting avenues. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I appreciate you for watching. Feel free to leave comments if you want, and don't forget, you are fabulous exactly the way God made you. Get your groove on, and I hope you have a happy rest of your day. Bye!